Welcome to today's video. Today we are talking just about winged liner, liquid liner, and false lashes. If you've been watching my channel the last couple of days, you know that this is part of a series where I break down a complete makeup application into individual sections of the application process. I wanted to really give you guys all my tips, all my tricks, but I knew if I did the whole makeup application, it'd be like a really long video. So I broke it up. So I will leave the videos for the other parts of the process down below. We've covered foundation, concealer, setting powders. We've covered bronzer, blush, contour, highlight, and we've covered eyeshadow and brows. So now we're gonna cover liner and false lashes. So I am gonna put my hair back so it's not in the way, and I have already applied my glue to my hand. I like to apply the glue on my hand and give it a couple of minutes to kind of get a little tacky. So I'm gonna let that kind of get tacky while I do my liner. Now, I realize that I've just recently done a video on liner, so this is probably going to be not new information for some of you, so you can certainly fast forward to where I talk about lashes, but you might have missed that video, or maybe you just want a refresher. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit closer and I'm gonna talk to you about winged liner. So for liner, when I'm creating a wing, I like to use a liquid felt tip pen, and I really like the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. It's one of my favorites. Physicians Formula had one I liked too, but I think they discontinued it. This is a fresh new one, so this should go on beautifully. So when I start my winged liner, I take a mirror and I look into the mirror. You're too close to see, but I just have this big mirror in front of me. So I tilt my chin back and I don't have any mascara or anything on my lashes. I want my lashes to be really clean because I want to be able to get really close to that lash line. So I lay the pen on its side. I don't use the tip. I lay it on its side and I softly close that eye that I'm working on. I will start about the center of the lash line, and I kind of create like the slightest little strokes with my pen. I personally find that it works better for me if I create little bitty strokes along the way. If I try and do one precise line, I typically mess up. Typically gets a little thicker than I want it in certain areas, and then I'm playing that whole game of trying to make it perfect, and then I have this really thick line. So I like to just kind of gently create little strokes. And then I want that end to fade into my lash line. I don't want you to see, black liquid liner is really stark. It's really dramatic. So you need that line to gently fade into your lash line. You don't want it to you don't want to see where it starts, right, and stops. So once I get to about, I don't know, most of the way to my eye, it's definitely more than 3/4 of the way over. Basically, when my lash line starts to turn down, as it does, I stop right there. I don't bring the pen down with it because then it's just gonna create and enhance that downward eye effect. I want to elongate my eyes, I wanna pull them up. So I stop right there, then I create a line that goes out. So then I open my eyes no longer looking down or closed. The reason for that is because if your eyes are closed when you're doing this process, it completely changes the shape is completely changed. So if you create this wing when your eye is closed, when you open it, it's likely going to not look the way you want it. You want to have a good representation of the shape of your eye when you're creating this. So I open it and then I just kind of pull it out. Now I'm using the tip of it. So I've gone from using the side, now I'm using the tip. And I have the slightest pressure, you guys. This pen is really nice because you get a lot of product payoff. The tip is really flexible and it's very pointy, so you can get a really fine tip like this. So now I've created that line, do you see? What I need to do now is I need to connect it to my lash line and fill in that space. So then what I do is I come down here and I take the corner of my eye and the corner of my lash line, and I take that tip and I kind of pull it up to meet that wing. Now, you need to have very slight pressure, you guys. I can't stress that enough. Really light strokes. If you press too hard or you are just too focused on it being, just perfect, I want to say that you're more likely to make a mistake. So just have a very light sweep. Then you just go in and you kind of fill in the space. Now here's where you can close your eye because you already have that line created, so you can kind of close it if that helps you. Fill in that space. You see? Doesn't that just seem so easy? Truthfully, it takes a lot of practice, so don't be scared. It's just eyeliner. If you mess up, you can clean it up. It's not the end of the world. I'm gonna go and do the other eye. So let's talk about false eyelashes. I feel like I have so many people tell me, I can't do them, they're so hard, or how do you do them? It takes some practice, but I'm gonna show you the tips and tricks that I have learned over the years and the way that I used to teach Mac artists how to apply false lashes. So I'm also gonna show you my favorite lashes. Right now, they are the Ardell Wispies. I say right now, but these have actually been my favorite lashes for years. They are just the perfect shape and size. I love that they are shorter in the inner corner, and you can see that they progressively get longer as you get to the outer corner. It just creates this beautiful like open eye, cat eye effect. I also like that the strip isn't super long, so I usually don't even have to trim these. If you get a lash that's very long, you do have to trim it because you don't want it to come too far over to the inner corner or extend too far out. You need it to really follow your natural lash line. So I find that these are typically pretty good. I would use these on a lot of brides. They're very inexpensive, so that's also a bonus. There are some really beautiful lashes out there that are softer and fluffier looking. They're $30 though, and I wear these probably 3 or 4 times before I have to toss them. So these are what they look like, the Ardell Demi Wispies. Now when you take these off of the container, whether they're these or any that you buy, I like to use my thumb and I just gently kind of press it and tug it off. I don't like to go in with tweezers or pull because sometimes what will happen is there will be an area that's really stuck, and when you do that, you just kind of destroy the shape of the lash band or you rip out some of the lashes. So I just like to use my thumb and gently kind of pull it off like that. Now, what I have done is I have applied glue, and I actually applied it probably too long ago. You can see that it's pretty much mostly dry. There's still that little wet patch in here. I like to apply the glue and give it a couple of minutes to get tacky. You don't want the glue to be extremely wet when you are applying it onto the eye. For a couple reasons. One, if it's really wet, it's gonna slide around and you're gonna have a big mess. You want it to be sticky and tacky so that you put it on and it sticks. You can still adjust it and move it a little bit, but if it's really wet, it'll slide around and it'll be harder to control. I probably need to apply more glue because yeah, this glue is already completely dry. So I would say a good, I don't know, minute is fine, 2 minutes maybe. I probably applied this 5 minutes ago. Now I always apply this on another surface. I never like take the glue and try and squeeze it on the lash band. You can if you have great control, but what I usually find is you're gonna get a big glop of that glue on part of the lash band and you don't want that. Now, you can take a Q-tip, you can take tweezers, you can take anything to apply it. I just use the back of a brush and I paint this onto the lash band. I'm gonna show you closer, don't worry. But what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that you have full coverage over the entire band of glue. And you also wanna be careful, sorry, this is a little out of focus. You also wanna be careful that the glue is not like dripping down into the lashes. This part is where it's gonna be on your lashes. You don't want the glue to be dripping down. You really want it to be right there on that strip. So as you can see, I've applied it so that it's got good coverage, but there's no big glops anywhere. There looks like there's one, but that's actually my nail. There's no big glops of glue anywhere. It's a nice, even but thin layer of glue. Now, you can kind of wave this around for a few seconds, 30 seconds, I don't know, blow on it a little bit. Again, you want it to be a little tacky, but you don't want it to dry completely. Now, you can use tweezers. I find my fingernails work great because they're a little long. And I will grab the lash, kind of more into the outer corner, and I will kind of position my mirror and I will look down and I'm not gonna talk while I do this. Let me explain what I'm about to do. So I will lay it on the lash line as close as I can get to the lashes. I don't wanna glue it on the hair, I wanna glue it on the skin, so I want it to be really close. Now, you want to find the area, when you're going in there, you wanna find the area that's gonna stick first and let that part stick. And then kind of remove your hand and then go and place the rest of the lash. Let me show you exactly what I mean. And sometimes that might be the inner corner that sticks, sometimes it might be the outer corner, sometimes it might be the center. But you just, can you see real good? Okay. So I'm gonna go and I find that the inner corner, I've positioned it there. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of set it there, okay? The inner corner is not stuck right now. What I'm gonna go and do is I'm gonna place that outer corner, then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take my other hand and place that inner corner. You don't have to get it positioned perfectly in the whole area of the eye. Get it one place to stick and then you can go in and you can adjust. Now, if you feel like you've applied it a little too high, grab your natural lashes and grab the strip and just kind of pinch them together and gently pull down. Once you have it on like I do, try not to mess with it. Let it dry for a few seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the other. So as you can see, I've just placed it. Then I'm gonna go back with my hand and I'm going to put the other corners, secure the other corners. I didn't speak on this yet, but I don't like to apply mascara first. Some people do, I don't. I find that if my lashes are clean, it allows me to have a better viewpoint of where I want to apply these. Also, if I have a lot of product or mascara on my lashes, it's easier for me to accidentally glue these to that. And then when I remove it, I have more likelihood of damaging my lash. So I like to keep my lashes completely clean, apply the falsies, and then I'll go in and add a little bit of mascara to either blend my natural lashes into them or to lift the false lash. Like you can tell, it's just the way my eyes are shaped. Do you see how this one sticks up more and this one kind of goes out more? I want to lift this one up, so I'm going to apply a little mascara to help me do that. It's always the case with my eyes. It's just the way that those eyes are shaped. Okay, so once they've had time to completely dry, you want to make sure that they are really secure on there. You don't want to do this step until they're secure. You're going to go and apply a little mascara if you want. Try not to apply too much. You don't really need a lot, and the more makeup that you put on them, the less usage you're going to get out of them. So I like to use a mascara that's not too thick. This one is by Clinique. It is the High Impact Mascara. And I'm just going to go and I'm just going to kind of press it on the bottom, and because I want to lift this lash, I am going to press it on the bottom and kind of wiggle and pull it up. Do you see how that just lifts the lash? And on this one, I'm just going to coat my natural lashes a little bit so you don't see those little light blondies poking through. And that's it. And that is how I apply false lashes. I hope that that was helpful. I really do feel like false lash application is something you just have to practice. I feel like it takes a lot of practice to be confident and comfortable doing it time after time again and getting it right. I think the biggest tips are, one, let your glue get a little tacky. I personally like the Duo glue, this one. I've tried others and I just don't care for them. I've tried the ones that you paint on and those are okay, but then when I remove it, I feel like it's harder for me to remove it and it damages my natural lash a little bit more. It's just kind of how I feel. This one I feel is great because it's very sticky and tacky and it works really well, but it dries to like almost like the consistency of rubber cement glue. You know, it's really like, it doesn't hurt when you take them off, and I feel like it doesn't damage your lid or your lashes. So I really like this one. Let it get tacky. I feel like the other tip is to use something to apply it on the lash band. Don't go on and actually try and glue it because you'll apply too much. Wave it around, let it get tacky, situate it on the lash, and then go in and perfect it. Don't feel like you have to get the entire band secure initially. Secure one area of it, let it go, and then go in and kind of place the rest. So I hope those tips were helpful. If you're not subscribed to my channel and you want to catch the last part of the series, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video, which is going to be all about lips, and it's going to be the final video for this series. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!